In this session, we will see about the negotiable instrument in the Negotiable Instrument Act. Negotiable, what is a negotiable instrument is not defined in Negotiable Instrument Act. Section 13 of the Act defines the negotiable instrument, not defines, it says a negotiable instrument means a promissory note, bill of exchange or check payable to bearer or order. So, we cannot say this is a negotiable instrument. The law is not comprehensive. It gives a right to others to include something as a negotiable instrument. So by custom there are so many instruments have been added as a negotiable instrument. Now what is a negotiable character we see? The negotiable character means the transferor can give better title than the transferee. The person who is transferring the right can transfer a better right to the other person. The general rule in the Transfer of Property Act is no one can transfer a better title than what he has. Nemo dat quo non habet. That is, you can transfer only what you have. I am having a pen. I am giving the pen as a gift to my friend. So, right over the pen is transferred to the other person. This is transferred. This is a Transfer of Property Act says like this, that ownership is transferred, possession is transferred. Some other person is having a pen. I have taken the pen. I put it in my pocket for 4 days. Then after that I am giving it to the other person. You have it. Now the delivery is transferred to the other person. The possession is with him. But the ownership is not with me because it is not my pen. I have not purchased it. It is somebody's pen. It was in my pocket for some time and now I am giving it to him. So his right is subject to my right. My right, I don't have a right over the pen. So he don't have a right over the pen. But in this case, in the negotiable instruments case, this is an exception. The receiver gets a better title than the transferor, provided he has taken the instrument for value under circumstances which do not afford reasonable ground for believing that he is not, for believing that the transferor is the owner of the instrument. So there are some conditions that we will see when we are seeing the holder in due course. That is, the owner can transfer a better title to the other person. The other person should comply some condition. He should have received in good faith without negligence, and he should have received the instrument for money. This is negotiable character of the negotiable instrument. The three instruments according to the section 13 are negotiable instrument. Section 137 of the Transfer of Property Act says that some other things can also be added by trade and custom. For that instruments, the Transfer of Property Act will not apply. So transfer of property rule, which rule? That is, he can transfer only what the right he has. That rule will not apply to the instruments, negotiable instruments. That section 137 gives the exception. By practice, by trade and customs, some more instruments have been added. These are called a negotiable instrument. By statute is a check, bill of exchange and promissory note. These are negotiable instrument act by custom. By custom, delivery note, that railway receipts and lorry receipts are sometimes called as negotiable instruments. These are things are called as negotiable instrument by custom. Now we will see what is a negotiable instrument, what are the characters, essentials. Negotiable instrument is an instrument which can be transferred by delivery if it is a bearer instrument. It can be transferred by endorsement and delivery if it is a order instrument. So the transfer of property, the ownership is transferred easily. If it is a bearer, simply by delivering to the other person. If it is a order, by endorsement and delivery. Now we will see what are the essential things in a negotiable, essential things for a negotiable instrument. First condition is it should be in writing. Second is it should be signed by the maker. If it is a check, by the drawer. If it is a bill of exchange, it is by the, if it is a bill of exchange, it is by the drawer. If it is a promissory note, that is promisor. So, writing should be signed. Next, it may be a promise or order. If it is a promissory note, it is a promise. If it is a bill of exchange or if it is a check, it is a order. It should be unconditional. If it is anything conditional, then it is not a negotiable instrument. The amount should be certain. The payee should be certain. Then the period should be certain. When to pay should be certain. If all these things are there, it is a negotiable instrument. We will see in detail about check, bill of exchange and this. Now we will see there are some presumptions in negotiable instrument. Section 118 of the Negotiable Instrument Act presumes something. There is no need to prove that. The law itself says that, I say that these are things are there. It is the defendant party, it is the other party to prove that. Normally, if you are having a check, then the law presumes you have taken the check by making a payment to the other person, drawer, or if you have delivered for giving some goods to the other person, it is you are holding means you have received it for some value. Consideration is presumed. If the other person is contesting, it is his duty to say that this person has taken my check without paying me any consideration. He has to prove it. Likewise, the presumptions are there. If there is a contest on that, the other person is contesting, he has to prove that this has not been according to the presumption as listed in section 118. First presumption is consideration. The person holding the check is presumed to have received the check for consideration paid, for money paid, for goods delivered or anything. Second is, the check is presumed, the check or bill of exchange or promissory note is presumed to have written on the day it is mentioned. For example, a person is writing a check on 10th December means the law presumes it was written on the 10th December. For example, a person is writing a date on 10th December and handing over the check on November. He says, I will be receiving money only on 10th December. You take this check, present the check in 10th December. So 10th December is the check date. Actually, the person is giving on November. Law presumes the check is written on the day mentioned in the check. So, the date on the instrument is presumed to be the date on which the instrument was executed. Next, before maturity. All the endorsements have been presumed to have been made before the maturity. The endorsements have been made in the order in which it was made. We will see in detail in that about the endorsement in later. The endorsements means order to transfer the instrument to another person. We will see it in detail. The endorsement is in that order. If the check is lost or destroyed, it is presumed that check was in order at the time it was lost or at the time it was destroyed. The holder has a right to claim a duplicate. So, section 13 says there are three instruments, negotiable instruments. In negotiable instrument means three: check, bill of exchange and the promissory note. And we have seen what is a negotiable instrument. The character of negotiability, that is the negotiable instruments by transfer, the transferee gets better title than the transferor. We have seen what are the presumptions according to the section 118. In the next session, we will see about the check, bill of exchange and the promissory note. We will see in the next session.